All right, it's 9 o'clock, time to get the May 16th Cottington County Commission meeting called to order. A couple of things this morning. If you have a cell phone, please turn it off or silence it. And if you do get a call that you need to take, please go out into the rotunda area so you don't disturb the meeting. Also, this meeting is being streamed live. And we have another new addition this week that we're breaking in. It's a new microphone system. And we did that primarily so that it would be clear, easier to understand, and I hope that it fulfills the purpose. And I want to give special thanks to Troy and Don, and I don't know who else helped you install it yesterday, but we appreciate it. And at least at this point, because it's still working.
I would make a motion that we approve the agenda.
And I'll second that.
We have a motion to approve the agenda by Commissioner Hatton, a second by Troy. Any discussion? Just heads up, when we get down to the open, last week or the week before, Cindy handed out the proposed, where we are on the budget and what our budget was in 2017, and today can look at where we want to go in 2018, and I thought it'd be good if we would just, since we have a couple new commissioners here, take a couple of minutes during the open and just go through it so everyone understands what the different columns are, and if anyone has any suggestions on what we should look at for 2018. So sort of a little budget meeting, or budget discussion, so we'll try to do that during the open. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 2, action to approve the minutes.
Move to approve.
Minutes.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hatton, seconded by Charlie. Any discussion? Corrections? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Let's go to number 3. We have a presentation this morning by Jack Smith, Cornerstone Rescue Mission, regarding services provided to veterans. And Jack, Sarah, are you going to come up and introduce Jack?
I'm just going to introduce Jack, and then I'm going to go sit back and stuff. But this is Jack Smith with Cornerstone Rescue Mission. He's going to talk a little bit about some services they provide for veterans in this area, and he does a fantastic job. So thank you for allowing him to present.
Thank you for the opportunity to give this presentation this morning. I am a case manager with Supportive Services for Veterans Families. This is a grant through the Department of Veterans Affairs. The Cornerstone Rescue Mission is the grantee. And what we do is we help veterans and veterans families who are facing a housing crisis. And we define that in 2 ways. We define that by being literally homeless. In other words, they spent last night in a place not meant for human habitation. And secondly, by those who may be facing eviction, that have an eviction notice. And so that's what I do. I cover all of Northeast South Dakota. I also do a lot of work down in Sioux Falls. I'm a Watertown resident, so my home base is right here in town, and I travel quite a bit through this part of the state helping veterans in the housing crisis. So I'd just like to briefly kind of tell you a little bit about what we do. I guess I kind of just covered that. This is a statewide grant. Our home office is in Rapid City, South Dakota. That's where my supervisor is. Cornerstone Rescue Mission is a homeless shelter that does a lot out in the Rapid City area. There's 3 main criteria. If I'm going to take this whole program and put it down to a nutshell, there's 3 main criteria to be enrolled in our program. The first one is the income level. 50% of the county median income is what anybody who wants to be enrolled into SFVF has to come under. And you can see the numbers there For Cottington County, for an individual, 23,000. For a family of four, it's 32,900. We take these numbers right off the HUD website, is where we get our numbers. And so every county has their own median income that we have to work with. Anything but dishonorable discharge. We do take some of the other discharge statuses from the military, the general discharges, other non-honorables. The PAD conduct, it's a case-by-case basis. So we're one of the very few VA grants that do take other discharges. And then, once again, the veteran must be literally homeless or facing eviction to be enrolled into our program. Some of the things that we offer, this is a case management program. When we enroll the veteran and the veteran's family into the program, I work with them for 90 days. Our number one goal in those 90 days is housing stability. Everything that we do is working towards housing stability. We have resources to be able to help with that. We can help with security deposits, utility deposits, rents, transportation needs, car repairs. We do have a lawyer that works with us if there needs some legal advice. We provide that. And everything's a case-by-case basis. I work with them for 90 days. At the end of 90 days, they're either exited or we could re-enroll them. This is my contact information here. The number you see there is my cell phone number. It is also on the back of the brochure. I carry that with me. My email address is there. And if I can be of service to any veteran or any veteran's family in Cottington County, in any surrounding county, please give me a call. I give my number out to Sarah has it. Al has it at the Veteran Service Office. I'm always willing to help. If you think, well, I don't know if they meet the qualifications program, it doesn't matter. Have them give me a call. I've helped lots of veterans that didn't quite qualify. I'll just point them in a direction, say, here, why don't you try this? That's what I'm all about. So before I go, I'd like to share maybe a quick story of a resident that I helped here in Cottington County. I got a call on a Monday afternoon, and this family got an eviction notice, and they had to be out of their apartment Tuesday by noon. And I was like, wow. So I called, I went over and met with the family. I gathered all the needed documentation. I worked with my boss in Rapid City through the afternoon, evening. We got all the paperwork needed to get their file approved. Our files are approved in-state, and we were able to get their file approved on Monday night. I met with the property manager on Tuesday morning, and I said, look, here is what's going on. We just enrolled them in this program. If you will give us some more time, we'll be able to help them stabilize. And they agreed to work with us. We avoided them getting evicted, and within 90 days, the veteran was able to regain employment. He was able to stabilize and is still living in that apartment today, as far as I know. So, the whole family was in crisis. They didn't know if they're going to have to be packing, and that's just one of the success stories I like to tell, that this program does work, and it's successful. So, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I really appreciate it. Do you have any questions for me that I might be able to answer?
Any questions for Jack?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, just a couple questions. So in Cottington County, what kind of volume are we talking as far as veterans that you see a need to assist in this way?
I generally help Cottington County. I would say 2 to 3 families a year.
Okay.
Is what I would help. Other counties, like in Brown County, I usually have continuous services. Minnehaha County, I'll have several.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then is there a screening process, or is it's almost more like an on-call kind of thing that if somebody contacts you, you just dive in and try to help and figure out the situation? Is that?
Yeah, there's definitely, I meet with them, and then to see if they meet the qualifications of the program, they have to provide paperwork, documentation,
Right, okay.
and then if they meet the qualifications, their file has to be approved. Yeah, case by case.
And then you said so it's a VA grant. Is it totally grant funded, or is there you're a charitable or nonprofit or?
Cornerstone Rescue Mission is a charitable
Okay.
organization. The grant supportive services for veterans families, all grant funded.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And then the last question I had, there's a program locally called Sea of Goodwill.
Yes.
That so you're familiar with them. 'Cause
Certainly.
I would think they'd want to be in contact with you from
Yes,
time
they
to
do
time.
have my information in their book.
Yeah,
And I have been to their meetings and
Yeah,
shared this
okay.
presentation.
All right, thank you.
I think you might have answered the question that I had, and that's how do people find out about you? I mean, other than now today, you're going to probably end up on the radio or in the paper, so that'll help you, I'm sure. But Salvation Army, Welfare Department, they're all aware of this program. Good.
Yes. My contact information is in all those locations. I do travel around, and I try to put up posters in places where homeless people might congregate. So I'm always looking for opportunities to share information about this program.
Good. Any other questions for Jack? Thank you for coming in this morning. Appreciate this, and
Thank you
keep
very
up the good work.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, let's go on to number 4, monthly reports, and that's Milo, our facilities manager. Good morning, Milo.
I don't want you to get caught up.
Good morning. I'll kind of have a brief report for you this morning. We'll sail through it rather quickly. Our Memorial Park, just a note on the bike trail. The grass has been planted on the area that was disturbed by construction. We're still waiting for all the posts and gates to get returned or get replaced as of yet. We have been in touch with the DOT, and they are in contact with the contractor, so hopefully that's still to come soon. The roofing has been replaced on the double picnic shelter. Other than that, things are up and running. We're just dealing with issues as they come up.
Milo, I'm sure a lot of people read the paper this weekend. Mr. Johnson had an article in there about the bike trail, and for your information, he had it backwards. He said the thing ended on the east end, and there was grass, and it's just the other way around. The bike trail is functioning very well coming from the east and going west, but it does end prior to, what's the name of that street? Remind me. Sunset Boulevard Street Drive or something like that?
Sunset, yeah.
No,
Not totally sure.
no, that's the city put the bike trail in, but will that eventually go out to that street, or, I mean, it stops short, oh goodness, probably 50, a few yards from it. 100 yards.
About 100 yards
Yeah.
probably from Parkview, I think is the name of that street.
Parkview, I believe that's right.
Oh, to the west?
Yeah.
Parkview Drive is on the west side. Yeah.
But just to clear things up, Mr. Johnson, Brad had it backwards. Actually, it's finished to the east, and it's the west end at about 100 yards that's short. The other thing that I noted, I had a good visit with the park manager out there that I can't remember when I was out there, Friday or Saturday, I think. There was about 20, 25 campers out there already.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty busy. And there were people they had bonfires and horseshoe throwing and the whole 9 yards. So it's good to see that's being
Good to
used.
see it come to life again every spring.
Yeah.
I think we're,
And everything looks
gonna
good.
have a step up on it this year. I think people are coming out a little bit earlier.
And everything looks good. Thank you.
Okay. Courthouse, just a couple notes here. The carpet has been fixed in the Register of Deeds office. The new tile has been installed in the entry of the Register of Deeds and clerk courts. They just completed that last night. They need to come in and do the grout work yet, but that's, should happen tonight unless plans change. The new locking system is being installed here at the courthouse. They've been working on that for the last week, so I would suspect that should be operational by the end of the month. I am working with Jim Sutton on a safety procedure policy for power outage situations in the courthouse, and we will schedule that for your review at a future meeting. Detention center, pretty much our normal bumps and bruises. We did have an air conditioner failure in the sheriff's building already this spring. That has been corrected, so they only had one day. One of the offices complained when it reached 89 degrees in their area. So, imagine that.
Yeah.
I would like to request that the board would consider transferring the old sound system from the commission chambers to Memorial Park. We thought it might be something that the people that use our facilities out there, for family reunions and whatnot, that may be interested in using. Something that Myron and I had talked about earlier. So just going to throw that out there. Other than that, that's kind of our month.
We did have a discussion this morning, last night we had a planning and zoning meeting at the Extension Center, and the microphone system in the kitchen, it was bad. And I'm being very nice when I say it's bad. The mics wouldn't work. You had to pound on them to get them to work.
Oh, really?
And we had, they would time out too. I mean, you'd have them on, the hand mics, and they would just, after so long, they'd time out. Mm-hmm. And we were kind of thinking that maybe the system that we had here is probably better than the one that's there, and maybe that's the one that should go out to the park.
Probably not, I would say.
Oh, okay.
I would recommend that you make a listing of what the problems are with that so we can contact the vendor.
Mm-hmm. Well, we certainly could do that. Starting out with it didn't work.
Not only that, but all three microphones that we used last night were not, at various times,
Didn't work.
inadequate is putting it mildly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That
only
was
been
really-
in place out there for approximately a year, so
It's not very old.
that's not a good sign.
Right.
This system that we took out of here is a good system, just not for our purpose here. So wherever it goes, I would hate to see it mothballed and only get used once or twice a year. You know,
That's-
if it can be utilized somewhere else more efficiently.
Right.
There's 6 body mics, 2 handheld mics in the power unit, so it's a good system.
That's why we were thinking it might be better used for the planning and zoning, but get that other system looked at and fixed, and since that won't be used as often and
Right.
probably by as many people, where the mic system could be better utilized with the planning and zoning. So just do a swap, but it definitely
Sure.
needs to be looked into and get it
A
working.
question, Milo.
Yeah.
If you move that out to Memorial Park, would the people that use it have to rent it, or how would they keep track of turning in what they are a deposit,
Probably,
or?
I don't think it's something we want to get into a rental. Probably something that would just be made available on a, use-by-use basis. Where they would, if it's portable enough, something they could just go set up, for the family reunion and then bring back into a locked, secured office at night or something like that. We learned a lesson many years ago out at the Ag Building, when you start trying to charge for signs or microphones or stuff like that, it just turns into way more hassle than what it's worth.
So that I can certainly understand, but I'm also thinking of my own deal where I've loaned stuff out to somebody and go, now where'd that go?
Yep.
Who got that?
Something that would have to be tracked through the manager out there that, we're gonna use it for the Waterman reunion, and, it's 9 o'clock, I gotta go pick that back up before I lock up the building.
Right. That's what I was going to say. The managers would be another added duty to them, but it probably doesn't happen that often.
Well, should we kick this around another week or so, or?
Yeah.
But good ideas. And maybe someone will have another idea between now and,
Well, and I think it needs to be, that system out there needs to be looked at by the vendor before he can really make a determination on where this one's going to go. Because
Good
it's,
idea.
The last I heard, everything was thumbs up with that system.
Yeah.
It was wonderful when
Yeah.
it was installed, so.
Last night was the first night that we've had issues with it, so.
now does that
It
pipe
is.
in with overhead speakers?
No.
Is that the one? Okay, it's different.
How old
There's
is the
2
system?
speakers mounted on the wall.
Okay.
How old is that system?
About a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, then,
So it's,
Should be under,
I think that
It
was put
should-
in March or April last year, I believe.
do you know what budget we took that out of?
And that would have been
would have been planning
Ag
and
building?
zoning.
probably ag building.
yeah, it's not very old.
Do you know who the vendor?
Lindner,
Oh.
music.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to get a hold of Rod?
Yeah.
And talk to him? Okay. Let us, keep us in the loop.
Sure.
All right. Anything else for?
Are we well on front and center?
I don't know if we want to discuss now about the city council meeting last night, when Milo's here, or wait and do that under old business?
There's a couple of items for Milo on the agenda. Item 9 and item 10. Item 9 is your volunteer. If you want to
okay.
give a little explanation on that before you.
We have Greg Dargits that would like to volunteer to work out at the park. He worked out there late last summer and last fall for us. Now he is currently employed full-time somewhere else, but he would still like to come out, on weekends or evenings or something and help us out, planting trees or, just whatever. So we wanted to add him to our volunteer list for workman's comp purposes.
Which has to be noted in the minutes so that he's covered.
I'd make a motion that we would add Greg Dargits
I
to
would
the
second.
volunteer list.
We have a motion by Hatton and a second by Van Dusen. Any more discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Okay, let's go to 10 then, and discuss possible action to figure out where that building is going to end up.
Okay, I heard this morning that,
talking to the mic there, Milo.
really? Okay.
It's going to be a good soundbite.
So we heard this morning that the city council talked about this last night and is on board for leasing us that property for a period of time. And they will bring it up, it'll be officially on their agenda for the next meeting, which I believe was June 1st.
5th of
Fifth,
that.
yes, they'll take it up
June
on June
5th.
5th.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's kind of the next to last step in the process. It's
Right.
just needs the I's dotted and the T's crossed at this point, to get,
Yes.
something official.
A
But
lease agreement is being drawn up. They also, the only thing that was added was to do some screening with trees for the current landowners. It will be on the east side. It was agreed upon that we could put on the east side. Do a lease that will concurrently run with the lease with the current ice facility, so they'll both come due at the same time. So sounds like we should be all right.
There was a
They'll draw
request.
up a
Yes,
lease
they're going to
agreement.
drop a
Okay.
lease, and then they'll send it our way, and we'll look it over,
Have the
have
state-
Patrick
okay.
look at it.
So the intent will be, so that lease ends in 2035, so the same, so
Yes,
it would
it will
be made
end
so
the
this would-
same time.
Okay,
Yep,
so, okay. Not making the old lease longer, just
No.
making this lease the same,
this
okay.
lease the same.
So the
They'll-
property swap is not, not in the works anymore?
No, we're
Okay.
just gonna,
There was
Just not for
discussion
now.
that the city had at the meeting too last night about planting trees, that the homeowners
Yes.
would like some trees planted
for
on
screening,
the east side of that,
Yeah.
so we'll have to do that.
yes. And it sounds like you can, in the city, you can do it on the property line, so would that take it on the back side of that fence? I suppose it would be along their property line? Well, we'll
Inside.
figure that all out.
Inside the fence.
we'll have to figure that out where the property line is and go from there.
Right.
Brenda, was the amount brought up of the lease, the cost of the lease?
No, I'm sure it'll probably be $1, just like the other one was, more than likely. I would say it should be pretty pretty equal to that.
Good.
Money well spent.
Yeah.
So
Milo?
that's all good.
How does that fit in with the construction schedule?
Just the early contacts I've had with the contractor, you know, they would like to get moving on it as soon as possible.
And I think that the city recognizes that because I believe that they're trying to get it done as quickly as possible.
So for everybody's, I put it up on the screen, so for everybody's edification, so it's that's this area right here is what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Be further to the east.
Over there,
Over here?
yes.
Okay, on this end, right in there.
And it will be on the east
Or
border.
oriented that way?
Yes.
North,
And then
okay.
we'll use that road there for the access point, in and
Yeah,
out.
sometimes it goes away. I'll try to blow it up.
Yeah, there's things in the way there.
So right there.
Right there,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Any other comments, questions in reference to this? Not seeing any, then we'll wait till the contract is delivered to us so we can act on the
Right.
contract.
When we have the lease in place, yeah.
Thank you, Milo, Brenda, for whoever and all that had help in getting this resolved. Appreciate the efforts and the time you put into it. Anything else from Milo?
We did pay for that sound system in April of 2016.
Okay.
Okay, so
All right.
Thanks, Milo.
Thank you.
thank you, Milo.
Thanks, Milo.
All right, let's go back to number 5 then, action to authorize the chair to sign a lease for the haying rights of the county-owned property. And just for your information, we did run that contract down to state's attorney's office and had him look it over, and he did make a couple of changes or
No, he was misunderstood. He thought we were paying somebody to take care of this. He didn't realize that we were being paid. Once I gave him that information, he was okay with the wording that the term of the lease shall be from the date thereof through October 31st, 2018, or until Cottington County no longer owns the property described above, whichever is sooner. And he was okay with that wording.
all right, any I'll
I will
entertain
make a motion
accept,
to authorize the chairman to sign the lease with the new verbiage.
Motion by Hatton,
Second.
second by Lee. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Number 6, action to re-adopt or amend the resolution 2017-7, the county bond issue resolution, and that is in your packet. And Lee,
Yeah.
you got the floor.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, so last week we changed the wording. You can see what it is. That's for people to see up there. For the ballot language, we just changed where it says, the last 3 lines on the screen there, where it says that for the purpose of constructing, renovating, and equipping court, county jail, and county law enforcement facilities. That said, before it said, in the original version, it said equipping justice and public safety facilities. So this is a bit clearer about what we're talking about, so the voters will know a bit more clearly what exactly we're talking about. And that came up from a member of the public that was sitting in on our CCJAC meeting. So that was very helpful. And so now we adopted that language last week, and so for the formality of the bond paperwork, we just need to re-adopt the resolution, just so it makes the paperwork cleaner and easier because if the bond is approved, it's a pretty serious packet of paperwork, I'm told. So anyway, the bond advisor and the bond counsel requested that we just re-adopt this. So I make that motion that we re-adopt this.
There's a motion by
bond
Gable,
resolution.
is there a second?
Second.
Second by Van Dusen. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Good. Going to number 7, a recommendation, action to combine rural precincts for the June 20th election. And Cindy, you might share with us on that.
Gotta get that right.
I'm going to